Have you ever wondered if the secrets of the universe are hidden in plain sight, buried within the cryptic verses of ancient texts? Imagine for a moment that the answers to humanity's oldest questions about life beyond Earth, about the nature of reality itself, have been staring us in the face for thousands of years, disguised as prophecy, myth, or divine vision. What if the line between the spiritual and the extraterrestrial is not as clear as we've been led to believe? Today we journey into the heart of one of the most enigmatic passages in all of religious literature, the vision of Ezekiel's wheel. Picture a desert, the air shimmering with heat, and a man, Ezekiel, suddenly confronted by a spectacle so bizarre, so otherworldly that even today, scholars, scientists, and mystics are left scratching their heads. Was it a message from God? A visitation from beings beyond our world? Or something even stranger? A glimpse into the machinery of the cosmos itself? Let's set the stage. The book of Ezekiel, written around 593 BCE, is a tapestry of visions, warnings, and cosmic drama. But it's the opening chapter that has haunted the minds of readers for millennia. Ezekiel describes a whirlwind coming out of the north, a great cloud with fire flashing forth continually, and in the midst of the fire, something like glowing metal. Then he sees four living creatures, each with four faces and four wings, and beside them, wheels. Not ordinary wheels, but a wheel within a wheel, capable of moving in any direction without turning. Their rims are full of eyes all around. The sound of their movement is like the roar of rushing waters, the voice of the Almighty, the tumult of an army. But what did Ezekiel really see? Was it a vision of angels and divine chariots, as tradition holds? Or was it, as some modern theorists suggest, an encounter with advanced technology, perhaps even a UFO? And if so, what does that mean for our understanding of history, faith, and the very fabric of reality? Here's a twist. The idea that Ezekiel's vision might describe an extraterrestrial craft isn't just a product of modern science fiction. It's a theory that has roots in ancient interpretations, mystical traditions, and even the writings of early church fathers. And it's been reignited in the 20th century by thinkers like Erich von Däniken, whose controversial book, Chariots of the Gods, challenged the world to reconsider the evidence of ancient astronaut visitations. But what if the truth is even stranger? What if Ezekiel's wheel was not a vehicle at all, but a portal, a gateway between dimensions, glimpsed by a man whose mind was open to realities beyond our own? Could the eyes on the rims be symbols of consciousness, perception, or surveillance? Could the wheel within a wheel be a metaphor for the nested layers of existence, or even a description of a technology so advanced it appears magical? Today, we'll peel back the layers of history, scripture, and speculation. We'll compare Ezekiel's vision to modern UFO sightings, explore the theories of interdimensional travel, and dive into the mystical interpretations that see the wheel as a map of the soul's journey. Along the way, we'll ask questions that challenge everything you think you know about the past, and maybe, just maybe, about the future. So are you ready to see the world with new eyes? To question the boundaries between the sacred and the scientific, the known and the unknown? Then, let's begin. But before we dive deeper, if you find yourself already intrigued, take a moment to pause, hit that subscribe button, and like this video. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's begin at the source. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1. The language is dense, poetic, and at times almost hallucinatory. Ezekiel writes, "As I looked, behold, a stormy wind came out of the north, and a great cloud with brightness around it, and fire flashing forth continually, and in the midst of the fire, as it were gleaming metal. And from the midst of it came the likeness of four living creatures. As for the appearance of the wheels in their construction, their appearance was like the gleaming of beryl, and the four had the same likeness, their appearance and construction being as it were a wheel within a wheel. When they went in any of their four directions without turning as they went, and their rims were tall and awesome, and the rims of all four were full of eyes all around." Let's pause and consider. What could possibly inspire such a vision? Was Ezekiel describing a spiritual experience? Or was he struggling to put into words something utterly outside his frame of reference? The ancient context, prophecy, or contact. To understand Ezekiel's vision, we must first step into his world. 6th century BCE Babylon was a place of upheaval, exile, and spiritual crisis. The Israelites, torn from their homeland, were searching for meaning in a world that seemed to have turned upside down. Prophets like Ezekiel were not just religious figures. They were visionaries, intermediaries between the human and the divine. But here's a detail often overlooked. In the ancient Near East, visions of fiery chariots, wheels, and celestial beings were not unique to Ezekiel. Sumerian, Akkadian, and Egyptian texts are filled with accounts of gods descending in whirlwinds, fiery boats, or wings of the wind. The motif of the divine chariot is as old as civilization itself, yet Ezekiel's description is unique in its mechanical precision. The wheel within a wheel is a phrase that has puzzled translators for centuries. In Hebrew, the word used is ophon, which can mean wheel, but also cycle or sphere. The idea of a wheel that can move in any direction without turning is, by any standard, extraordinary. Now let's introduce a twist. In the Jewish mystical tradition known as Merkabah mysticism, Ezekiel's vision becomes the foundation for a whole system of spiritual ascent. The chariot is not just a vehicle, it's a map of the cosmos, a guide for the soul's journey through the heavens. The wheels, the eyes, the living creatures, all become symbols of deeper realities, layers of consciousness, and stages of enlightenment. But what if these symbols are more than metaphors? What if they are descriptions of real phenomena, witnessed by a man whose mind was open to dimensions beyond our own? The UFO connection, chariots of the gods. Fast forward to the 20th century. In 1968, Swiss author Erich von Däniken published Chariots of the Gods, a book that would ignite a global fascination with the idea of ancient astronauts. Von Däniken argued that many ancient myths, legends, and religious texts are, in fact, records of encounters with extraterrestrial visitors. Ezekiel's wheel, he claimed, is a prime example. Von Däniken wasn't the first to make this connection. In 1964, NASA engineer Joseph F. Blumrich published a technical analysis of Ezekiel's vision, concluding that the description could correspond to a type of spacecraft, complete with landing gear, propulsion systems, and even a command module. Blumrich's book, The Spaceships of Ezekiel, goes into painstaking detail, mapping the biblical text onto modern engineering concepts. Let's break down the key elements. The wheel within a wheel could describe a gyroscopic mechanism, allowing for movement in any direction. The eyes on the rims might be portholes, sensors, or even lights. The living creatures could be astronauts in suits or robotic appendages. The sound, like the roar of rushing waters, matches descriptions of jet engines or rocket propulsion. But here's where it gets even stranger. Modern UFO sightings often describe craft with eerily similar features: circular or spherical shapes, lights or eyes around the perimeter, the ability to move in any direction, and a humming or roaring sound. Is this coincidence or continuity? Let's pause for a moment. If you're finding these connections as fascinating as I do, now's a great time to hit that like button and subscribe. There's so much more to uncover. Interdimensional theories, portals, and parallel realities. But what if Ezekiel's wheel wasn't a physical craft at all? What if it was a portal, a gateway between worlds? In recent years, physicists and philosophers have begun to take seriously the idea of multiple dimensions, parallel universes, and wormholes. Theoretical models suggest that our universe may be just one of many, and that under certain conditions, it might be possible to travel between them. Some researchers have pointed to the wheel within a wheel as a possible description of a rotating, nested energy field, something akin to a toroidal vortex or a stargate. The eyes could represent points of observation, consciousness, or even surveillance by higher dimensional beings. In the Kabbalistic tradition, the chariot is a vehicle for the soul's ascent through the seven heavens, each level guarded by angelic beings and marked by wheels, eyes, and fire. The journey is perilous, requiring secret knowledge, ritual purity, and the guidance of a master. Could Ezekiel have been initiated into a mystery school, his vision a coded account of an interdimensional journey? And here's a fact rarely discussed. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, there are references to angelic chariots and wheels of fire that transport the righteous to the throne of God. In the Zohar, the foundational text of Kabbalah, the wheels are said to be the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth, a poetic way of describing omnipresent surveillance. or perhaps multidimensional awareness. Ancient astronauts, visitors from the stars. Let's return to the ancient astronaut hypothesis. If beings from another world visited Earth in the distant past, what evidence would they leave behind? Would they appear as gods, angels, or demons to the people of the time? Would their technology be interpreted as magic or as the machinery of the divine? Consider this. In Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki are described as descending from the heavens in fiery chariots. In Hindu texts, the Vimanas are flying palaces or chariots, capable of traversing the sky and even space. In the Popol Vuh of the Maya, the gods travel in shining discs. Across cultures, the motif of the wheel, the chariot, and the fiery vehicle recurs with uncanny consistency, but Ezekiel's account is unique in its detail. The wheel within a wheel is not found elsewhere. Could this be a clue that what he saw was not a product of imagination, but a real event, witnessed and recorded as best he could? Let's dig deeper. In the 1970s, Soviet scientists proposed that the eyes on the wheels could be a form of advanced surveillance technology, allowing the occupants to observe the world in all directions. Others have suggested that the wheels represent a form of anti-gravity propulsion, using rotating fields to manipulate space-time. And here's a mind-bending possibility. What if the living creatures are not biological beings at all, but artificial intelligences, robots or androids designed to operate in hostile environments? The description of their movement, straightforward, without turning, swift as lightning, matches the behavior of machines, not animals. Mystical interpretations, the divine vision. But let's not forget the spiritual dimension. For centuries, rabbis, mystics, and theologians have seen Ezekiel's vision as a revelation of the divine order. The chariot is the throne of God. The wheels are the cycles of time and fate. The eyes are the watchful gaze of the Almighty. In the Talmud, it is said that only the wisest and most pure could study the workings of the chariot, lest they be consumed by its power. The vision is a map of the soul's ascent, a guide to the mysteries of creation. But even here, there are hints of something more. The Zohar speaks of wheels within wheels, each turning in harmony with the others, creating a cosmic symphony. The eyes are windows into the infinite, portals through which the soul glimpses the divine. And here's a secret. In some mystical traditions, the chariot is not just a vehicle, but a state of consciousness, a way of seeing the world that transcends ordinary perception. The fire is the light of awareness. The wheels are the cycles of thought, and the eyes are the points of focus. To ride the chariot is to awaken to a higher reality, to see the world as it truly is, modern parallels, UFOs, orbs, and the unexplained. Let's bring the story into the present. In the past century, thousands of people around the world have reported sightings of unidentified flying objects, disks, spheres, orbs, and wheels of light. Many describe experiences eerily similar to Ezekiel's vision: bright lights, roaring sounds, sudden appearances and disappearances, and encounters with beings that defy explanation. In 2004, U.S. Navy pilots encountered the now famous Tic Tac UFO, an object capable of instantaneous acceleration, right-angle turns, and hovering in place. The pilots described it as otherworldly, unlike anything in human technology. In 2021, the Pentagon released a report acknowledging that many UFO sightings remain unexplained and that some objects appear to defy the known laws of physics. Could these be modern manifestations of the same phenomenon Ezekiel witnessed? And here's a chilling thought. What if the eyes on the wheels are still watching us, monitoring our progress, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? If you're still with me, and your mind is racing with possibilities, now's the perfect time to pause, subscribe, and like this video. Let's keep exploring the unknown together. The science of the impossible. Technology or transcendence? Let's examine the science. Could a wheel within a wheel actually exist? In engineering, the concept of nested wheels is used in gyroscopes, which allow for stability and movement in multiple directions. In quantum physics, the idea of nested realities, universes within universes, is gaining traction. Some researchers have proposed that advanced civilizations might use rotating fields to create wormholes, allowing for instantaneous travel across vast distances. The fire and lightning described by Ezekiel could be plasma discharges, electromagnetic phenomena, or even the visual effects of a craft entering or exiting our dimension. But here's a twist. In the field of consciousness studies, some scientists believe that the brain itself may function as a kind of chariot, capable of tuning into different frequencies of reality. The wheels are the cycles of brain waves, the eyes are the points of awareness, and the fire is the energy of thought. Could Ezekiel's vision be a description of an altered state of consciousness, induced by meditation, trauma, or divine intervention? Or was it a literal encounter with beings from another world? The legacy of the wheel, symbolism and power throughout history, the image of the wheel has held a special place in human culture. In Buddhism, the wheel of Dharma represents the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In Hinduism, the chakra is both a wheel and a center of spiritual energy. In medieval alchemy, the wheel is a symbol of transformation, the turning of base matter into gold. In the tarot, the Wheel of Fortune is a card of destiny, change, and the mysterious workings of fate. In modern psychology, the wheel is used to represent the cycles of the unconscious mind. Is it possible that the wheel is a universal symbol, a key to understanding the hidden patterns of reality? Or is it a memory, encoded in our collective consciousness, of a time when the boundaries between worlds were thin and the gods walked among us? Final reflections. What did Ezekiel see? So, what did Ezekiel see? Was it a vision of God's glory, a visitation from extraterrestrial beings, or a glimpse into the machinery of the cosmos? Was the wheel within a wheel a chariot, a spacecraft, or a portal to other dimensions? The truth may be stranger than any of these theories. Perhaps Ezekiel's vision was all of these things, a message encoded in symbol and story, waiting for us to unlock its secrets. As we close, I invite you to ponder these questions. If ancient texts contain evidence of contact with other worlds, what does that mean for our understanding of history, religion, and ourselves? If the boundaries between the spiritual and the scientific are not as clear as we think, what new possibilities await us? And if the eyes on the wheels are still watching, what message are they waiting to deliver? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think Ezekiel saw? Was it a UFO, a portal, or something beyond our wildest imagination? Write your thoughts in comments section below. Let us engage. Until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and remember, the truth is often hidden in the places we least expect.